Colorado has just secured a commitment from a mammoth offensive lineman. Check it out here on the CU Flex slash The Scoop with Dukes. All right, I'm here to talk about it. Colorado has just hit the transfer portal again. Yep, that's right. Zy Crisler, offensive lineman, 6'7", 340 pounds from Illinois, is now a Colorado Buffalo. Before we get into it, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. And as always, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Dukes D Scoop. The overarching reason that Colorado fans should be excited about this pickup from the transfer portal is that it signifies that Colorado's mentality going into 2025 is going to be run the ball, protect the QB. A lot of people see a guard of this size and they think, Crisler, we're just going to bump him out to right tackle. He's 6'7", he's 340. You know, he's played a little right tackle. He's got 2 starts at right tackle. He's got the size. He's automatically got to have the athleticism, and that's our right tackle. Hold your horses or hold the buffalo. This guy is signifying that Colorado wants to upgrade and top grade at every position on the offensive line, and they want competition everywhere. Yes, Chrysler has great size. He profiles well to be a tackle. But talking to some of my sources at Illinois, Chrysler is a guy who was honorable, who started every game his sophomore year, coming out of JUCO out of Mississippi, originally from Mississippi. Started every game his sophomore year, started the majority of games, started 9 at guard his junior year, and 2 at tackle. Then this year, his senior year, he started off starting at guard, and then he was bumped into he lost the starting position, but was also in a rotation. So they didn't just bench him; they kept him in a rotation, and then they also played him in after he announced his intentions to get in the transfer portal. They still played him 11 or 12 snaps in their bowl game, a very hotly contested bowl game, might I add. When you talk about that game against South Carolina. So what's that tell me? One, team player. Two, someone who wasn't a locker room cancer, because usually when guys get in the transfer portal with intentions to leave, you want them to leave, get out of here. They want you to get. You don't want to infect any other players in that locker room. But everything I've heard about this guy has been great team player, sacrifice for the team. Even moving a tackle last year was a sacrifice for the team. He's someone that I think that's going to do really well in the Big 12. I think that he does play guard, and I think that when you have a guard with that type of size, I've spoken with people in the transfer portal at multiple schools, and you got guys that you say, well, can you play a guy that size at guard? And what that tells me is that Chrysler plays with leverage. Think about this. Look at the pickups from Colorado's defensive line in the portal at defensive tackle. 6'2", 6'3", guys who play with leverage. When you have guys 6'7", it's hard for you to combat someone who has shorter arms, quicker bursts, and could get under you at the point of attack. Well, Chrysler has been able to be successful at guard, successful to the tune of being honorable mention all Big Ten last year, because he has great lower bend at the position. That allows him to make sure he understands his point of leverage and gets there quicker than shorter and possibly quicker defensive linemen. Understanding where to go is super important. Now you dive into the numbers this year. He had 248 opportunities to give up a sack. He only gave up one. 248 pass sets, and he only gave up one sack. His PFF grade when it came to pass blocking and true pass set was in the 56, 58 range. The average player in college football is at the 60 range. 60 is 60 is the average. When you look at PFF, if you want to know a player is good enough to play anywhere in the country, 60 is where you want to see him. 70 is above average. 80 is really above average. 90 is out of worldly. Jeremiah Smith, for example, is a 90. Ryan Williams, as good as he was last year, only scored in the 70s. So this guy scored in the 58 in pass blocking situations. Not because he was giving up sacks, but they said, oh, he might have lost on this play. Or he may not have stepped correctly this play. But overall, when you look at the bottom line, he had 250 opportunities to give up a sack and only gave up one. I like that a lot. Secondly, I did hear that his move to right tackle wasn't the best for him, and it kind of messed with him a little bit. So a fresh start, for a guy who had been dominant trying to find himself, I think him getting the extra year of eligibility because of his JUCO, because of his JUCO experience, only helps him. Now you get a fresh start in Colorado, where there's an opportunity for you to start in your last year. First of all, secondly, Illinois wanted him back. If they didn't, they would have told him to go. But I do know Illinois wanted him back. UCLA wanted him. Multiple schools wanted him. And the fact that when you had his NFL profile on PFF, so if you get PFF Ultimate, it's a ton of money, but it's worth it for data guys like me. When you go in and you look at his size, his skill set, his advanced analytics, where they look at every stat you can think of. When you go look at all these things, you would never believe who they say this kid. And PFF is basically the holy grail when it comes to stats and comparisons and figuring out who a player can be. PFF said at that same point in his career, this kid profiles favorably to Osiris Torrance, the rookie Pro Bowler last year for the Buffalo Bills, who was at Louisiana and went to the University of Florida. Another 6'5", nearly 6'6", 340-pound offensive guard. This kid at guard can be lethal, especially when you allow him to pin his ears back and say, go get him. This signifies that Colorado is really serious about the run game this year. I also have it on very, very good authority. Colorado is not done, and this is not just a plug-and-play right tackle. If he ends up winning the right tackle job, great. But they are still looking for another bookend for Jordan Seaton. And I can guarantee you they will get a guy with experience at tackle already. There are multiple players that are still playing quality football, playoff football, that will be in the portal. The Colorado will be in the mix for. Guarantee it. You can bet it. Right now, Colorado's focus is going to be offensive line, protecting the quarterback, a bookend type tackle on the other side of Seaton, and they're also looking for defensive linemen, and they want to rush the passer. They may even add another safety. But Colorado's at the point where they're building in a manner where you can wait until the spring and go get the guy if you have to make sure you got your right tackle, to make sure you got him. But in the meantime, right now, you're bringing in guys who have flexibility, who can play both. Zy Crisler is a huge pickup for Colorado. And if you're a Colorado Buffalo fan, you should be ecstatic to know that they are making moves in order to run the ball. And that's something that you have not seen in the last 2 years. Make sure you follow me for more content. Hit the like and subscribe button. Dukes D Scoop on Instagram and Twitter. Congratulations to Zy Crisler.